Hi everyone, welcome back to English Lab. I'm Luis. Today we have the second short story. This one is about a rainy day, a difficult moment, and how one person's warmth can completely change your perspective. These short stories are designed for B1 level, but they teach you real vocabulary and real ways that people speak English. You'll learn through storytelling, not just grammar exercises. Download the study guide PDF in the description for vocabulary, comprehension questions, and speaking practice. Let's begin! I want to tell you about a day that seemed completely terrible at first, but then turned into something beautiful. It was about 2 years ago. I was having one of those days where everything goes wrong. You know what I mean? One of those days where you just want to go back to bed and start again. It started in the morning. I woke up late. My alarm didn't go off for some reason. I was already stressed because I had an important meeting at work at 9 a.m. I got dressed quickly, didn't eat breakfast, which was a mistake, and rushed to the office. When I arrived, my boss was already waiting for me. She was not happy. She said, "Luis, you're late. This is unprofessional." I tried to explain that my alarm didn't work, but she wasn't interested in my explanation. I felt embarrassed in front of my colleagues. My face turned red. Then, about an hour later, I was working on an important project. I was concentrating very hard. And then, I accidentally spilled my coffee all over my shirt. It was hot. It was brown. It was a disaster. Coffee stains all over my white shirt. I had to go to the bathroom and try to clean it, but it didn't work. I looked like a mess for the rest of the day. By lunchtime, I was angry and frustrated. I thought, this day can't get any worse. But then it did get worse. As I was leaving the office at 5 p.m., the sky turned dark, very dark, and then it started to rain. Not normal rain, heavy rain. The kind of rain that falls like someone is pouring water from the sky. I didn't have an umbrella. I'd left it at home. So there I was, late to work, embarrassed by my boss, with coffee stains on my shirt, and now completely soaked by the rain. I was wet. My hair was wet. My shoes were wet. My bag was wet. Everything was wet. I walked to the bus stop, which was about 10 minutes away, but in the rain, it felt like 30 minutes. My clothes were dripping. Water was running down my face. I was cold. I was miserable. I was thinking, this is the worst day of my life. At the bus stop, there was a shelter. You know, the small roof that protects you from the rain a little bit. I stood under it, still soaking wet, just waiting for my bus. Then, I noticed an old woman sitting on the bench under the shelter. She had a small umbrella. A very small umbrella. She was probably about 70 years old, maybe older. She was wearing a red coat, and she had kind eyes. She looked at me. She saw how completely wet I was. She saw my wet hair, my wet clothes, my wet everything. And without saying anything, she moved a little to her left. Then she held up her umbrella, her little umbrella, and she said to me, "Come here. Come sit under here with me. Nobody should be this wet." I said, No, thank you. I'm okay. You keep the umbrella. You need it more than I do." But she insisted. She said, "Come here. Come here. I'm telling you, come here." She had this warm voice, this kind voice. I couldn't refuse, so I moved closer and sat next to her. She held that small umbrella over both of us. And of course, the umbrella was so small that it only protected my head, but my shoulders and my legs were still wet. But something changed. I felt warm. I felt comforted. She started talking to me. She asked me my name. I told her my name was Luis. She said, "Hello, Luis. I'm Rosa. You look like you had a bad day." I said, "Rosa, you have no idea. Today was terrible. Everything went wrong." So I told her. I told her about my alarm, about my boss, about the coffee, about everything. And she listened. She really listened. She nodded and she said things like, "Oh no," and "That sounds difficult." She was genuinely interested in my problems. Then she told me about herself. She said she lost her husband about a year ago. She said his name was Marco. She said they were married for 45 years. She said that before he died, they used to sit together every evening and just talk. She said she misses those conversations. She said, "After Marco died, I felt very alone. The world seemed dark and cold. But then I realized something. I realized that I could give to other people what I received from Marco. I could listen. I could care. I could be warm. So now, whenever I see someone who looks sad or lonely or struggling, I try to help them, even if it's a small thing, even if it's just sharing my umbrella. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like Marco is still with me, helping people through me. We waited for my bus together. We were standing under that tiny umbrella and we talked for about 20 minutes. She told me about Marco. She told me about their travels, about their life together. She asked me about my dreams. She asked me what I want to become. When my bus came, I didn't want to leave. I felt like I had known Rosa for years. I said, "Rosa, thank you so much. You saved my day. You saved my mood. You helped me so much." She smiled. She had this beautiful smile. She said, "Luis, tomorrow will be better. I know it will, because you are a good person, and good things happen to good people." What a moment, right? Rosa's kindness completely changed Luis's entire day and perspective. Download the study guide PDF to practice all the vocabulary from this story. Soaked, dripping, comforted, insisted, struggled, and more. The guide has comprehension questions, true or false exercises, speaking prompts, and writing activities to help you tell your own stories. Now let me share the key message of this story with you. I got on the bus, and I watched her through the window. She was standing there in the rain with her small red umbrella waving at me, and I thought, this day that started so terribly just became one of the most beautiful days of my life. The next day was indeed better. My boss apologized for being harsh. The coffee stain came out of my shirt, and I found out that Rosa lives near my bus stop. Sometimes I see her, and we say hello and talk for a few minutes. That rainy day taught me something very important. You never know who you will meet. You never know who might change your perspective. A stranger with a small umbrella and a warm heart gave me something that no money could buy. She gave me kindness. She gave me hope. She gave me a reminder that the world is full of good people. Sometimes the smallest act of warmth makes the biggest difference. Rosa didn't solve Luis's problems. She just listened and shared her umbrella. But that was exactly what he needed. The study guide PDF in the description has everything. Vocabulary, comprehension questions, fill in the blanks, and speaking exercises. It's all designed to help you understand and practice English through this real story. If you like this short story, subscribe to English Lab and turn on the notification bell. We have new stories every week, stories that teach you real English and real life lessons. Comment below, have you ever been helped by a stranger on a difficult day? Tell us your story. Thanks for listening. See you in the next English Lab short story.